Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to AGA English Grammar Tips. Today our topic is Sociology of Education, Unit number 6, Code 6500, prepared by AGA Umar Khan. Students, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पर जाने से पहले मैं आपसे ये कहना चाहूँगा कि आप ज़रूर मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें ताकि आपकी मैं हेल्प कर सकूँ, अपडेट कर सकूँ आपको किसी भी किस्म की प्रॉब्लम में। बहुत शुक्रिया। चलते हैं अपने सबक की तरफ। इंट्रोडक्शन। Sociology of education is that the branch of the knowledge which tries to control social forces through the educative process going on in the family, school, playgroup, mosque, etc. It analyzes and utilizes the educative process that influences the development of personality in order to transform the individual for desirable social ends. Sociological methods and models. Sociology is the study of social relationship among people who live together. When people live together, they form society where there are some common interests, mutual help, give and take, duties or divisions of labor for the good of all as each is in need of others. The society is composed of a man, woman and children living together from one generation to another according to some traditions, ways of life, or conventions, beliefs which are passed on the succeeding generations. It can be delineated into four methods of historical, empirical, analytical and scientific methods. Historical methods. Through this method, we consider the thoughts of the founding fathers, books, and researchers. These are accepted as the main pillars of sociology. There are August Comte, Emil Durkheim, Herbert Spencer, and Max Weber. Their work on sociology covers the whole 19th and 20th century. Every one of them played a considerable part in the developing stage of sociology as an intellectual discipline. Empirical method. In this method, sociology is considered as a collection of subdisciplines that deal with the institutions and social process. Current sociological books and writing of modern writers are the examples of the empirical methods. Analytical method. Reason is applied in this method to divide and delimit some larger subject matter and allocate it among various branches of knowledge. Social act is the smallest unit of which sociological analysis is applied. It is directly visible action which has reasonably clear meaning for both the actor and other with whom he is in contact. Scientific method. A scientist is concerned to be engaged in the study of electronics, molecules versus cells, rocks, stars, skeletons or skulls, and is confined in laboratories with his instruments of study like microscope, telescope, etc. Relativism. It means that the conclusions drawn are never taken as permanent, final, and absolute truths. The scientists believe that the theories held today are open to questions tomorrow. Science itself is self-correcting. Its theories are not as sacred and its conclusions not so final. Ethical neutrality. Science does not preach, it does not ask a man whether it become a physician or a carpenter, whether to make an atom bomb or an anti-missile device. There are issues with which science is not concerned. Problems of this kind are out of the scope of science. Sociology as a science. According to August Comte and Durkheim, sociology is a science because it adopts and applies the scientific methods. Sociology does make use of scientific method in the study of its subject matter, hence sociology is a science. Interaction of institutions. Social interaction occurs when two or more people take account of each other and modify their behavior accordingly. When individuals interact, they develop shared meaning about the world that forms the basis of culture. Social interaction is also the mechanism by which the values and norms of an existing culture are transmitted from generation to generation. Interaction is more important because it is the basis of social order by orienting their behavior to one another and by considering other people's reaction to them, people develop an understanding of behavior. Types of interaction. Cooperative, it is form of interaction in which people strive for a common goal and depend on each other. Cooperation can be demanded by a higher authority or is agreed upon the equal partners. Competitions, it is another form of social interaction. In competition, participants seek the same limited goal and agree to abide by certain rules in their efforts to achieve that goals. Types of relationship in interactions. Dominations and subordination, symbolic interaction, facial expression, physical gestures point to remember. Family socialization and stratifications. Societies include a number of institutions of transmitting their culture to children and youth. The most important institution is in many societies have been the mosque, the peer groups, the schools, and of course the family, and also the mass media, which has emerged to play a major part in socialization. Change and trends in the structure and characteristic of the contemporary family also have important implications for child's education development and for his success in school. Increase in working methods. The percentage of working mothers has been increasingly steadily. The trend toward greater female participation in labor force is expected to continue. The reason is better opportunities for women, family, financial pressure, and changes in our older culture, attitude, and patterns that dictated the mother's stay at home. Religious institutions. Religion is as a part of society gives common belief and practices which are acquired by each individual as a member of the society he belongs to. The relationship of a people with a God and worship of a God is a public matter and is supported by the community. In Islam, it is communal in character. The collective rituals, for example, namaz, fasting, hajj, give expression to shared belief and reinforce the adherence, devotions to the ends of the society. Identification with the other persons of the same religion is also strengthened. Religious is functional on account of five things. It offers through its system of supernatural beliefs and explanations of the societies and the justification of their principles. It provides through its collective rituals a mean of constant renewal of common sentiments. It supplies a reference for the values and reinforcement for all persons who share the same values. It provides an ultimate and insuperable source of reward and punishment. For example, reward for good and punishment for bad conduct. Religion makes a unique contribution to social integrations. Religion and personality. Religion is instrumental in organizing health traits of personality. Each individual has certain aspirations related to his goals. These goals are motivating force which channelize his energies. These goals are dependent to a large extent on culture, norms, and values. The goals, like the relieving of human suffering, propagation of faith, brotherly feelings for fellow of the faith acquire importance. These goals, when realized, give a sense of moral achievement, traits of self-esteem or self-affection or sympathy for others are developed. The peer group as an institution. Family is the first and the most basic of the primary group with which a child is associated. Peer group interaction soon become frequent by the play group for the small child and the teenage clique for the adolescents. The peer group provides significant learning experience in how to interact with the others. Function of peer group, peer culture and the schools, friendship patterns, participation in curricular activities. The school as a social and a cultural system. Aspect of social culture. Each school has its own subculture, the set of values and the behaviors that it reinforces and rewards. Education in schools compared with that it in the family of or peer group is carried on in relatively formal ways. Grouping are formed not by voluntarily choices but according to age, aptitudes, and by sex. Culture of classroom, television, and other media. Other formal agencies share the socializing the child, but their influence today is generally much less than that of the family, peer group, and social school. However, the mass media, especially television, are extremely effective in shaping the attitude and behavior of children as well as those of adults. A second school system, TV, and aggressive behavior, positive aspects. Educational goals, child holistic development, command of the fundamental process, home membership, vocation, citizenship, ethical character. School functions and their role of teacher. The school is a stretched arm of a family, and the child goes to school with the same basic needs to be satisfied for his proper growth. In the school, there are also human relationship between children themselves, between children and the teachers or heads and other personnel working in the school, which determine the socialization of individual children. Role of teacher, and the conclusion is that the sociology of education involves the study of educational institutions. In fact, socializations in the first few years of life occurs as a result of interaction of children with their parents. School is another important agent of socialization because formal education is needed to do most jobs, and school is also instill the cultural values and norms such as patriotism, discipline, and hard work. Children's self images are influenced by the way their teachers and the peers respond to them. Peer groups is important to play part in socialization of the children and adults. Mass media, which includes television, radio, movies, magazines, and newspaper, is a strong agent of socialization, which has both positive and negative aspects. Thanks a lot to listen and bear me. And if you like the video, then subscribe my channel for more updates and share it, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Allah Hafiz.